Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So today I'm not going to be creating any kind of project per se. In the spirit of making the most of the resources that we've got or currently hold, I'm going to be making some spritzers, some ink spritzers from pots of pigment powder that I've had in my collection for ages and ages and ages. Now I had a little bit of an experiment the other day where I created one just to do a little test with some watercolours, and it worked to the point where I thought, yes, I like that. So I went online and I bought some more. So I ordered these from a supplier here in the UK, based in Leicester, and I got these for pence each. So, and I ordered 10. So I thought, well, I'll do 10 to start off with. And then that'll be a nice kind of collection of colours, because I've got some colours that are kind of duplicated that I don't really need to have more than one of. So there's no point doing like the sunshine yellow and then doing the lemon yellow. There's no real point in doing that. So I'm going to just show you how I'm going to do it, and literally how easy it is to create something from what you've already got. Okay, so these are the bottles that I purchased, or 5 of them at least. So these are the same sort of bottles that you'd get for putting liquids in to take on board an aeroplane, what with the new restrictions and stuff and what you can take on board. So I ordered 50 millilitre ones, but these that have arrived, I don't think they are 50 millilitre ones, because these are the Tim Holt ones. This one's got alcohol in at the moment. So this says 2 fluid ounces or 59 millilitres. So when you look at the shape and the size, I think perhaps maybe it's not quite as fat, but slightly taller. So instead of sending me 50s, I think they've sent me 60s, which I'm not bothered about. I've only paid for 50s, so, you know, what the heck. So to create the spritzer that I want, let's just put those to one side and just take these out. First of all, I want to shorten the pipe, if you like. So I'm going to snip that off just towards the bottom and then try it back in there. Cool, so it's not actually touching the bottom, it's just, there's a little bit of a raised section at the bottom there, and it's just kind of hovering above it. So we'll use that one as a template to do the rest. So if I kind of just straighten that out a little bit, they come out dead easy anyway, so literally I could just pull them out, hold it together, snip it, put it back in. Job's a good one. So easy as that. So I'm going to go and do that to all of the 10 bottles that I've got, if you like, and then once I've done all 10, I'll be back. Okay, so that was the last one. They're all done. I'll put that back where it belongs in there. So using the same one each time as your template saves having to measure each and every one. Okay, so the next thing to do then is to choose a colour. This was, the first one that I did here was the sea green, I think it was. Let's have a look, because it's the only one that doesn't have the thing on it now. Of course I can't find it now, can I? Anyway, he says, digressing. Let's just pick one that we've got. So let's see, brilliant red. There we go. So I'm going to on this one it's got like a seal on it, so I'm going to unfasten the seal. Of course my pin in the top of my pigment powders creates that little bit of a hole, so all I have to do now is just very, very carefully is just manoeuvre the top off. So these pigment powders are going to last for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages. So I'm going to take a little from a spatula and I'm just going to put that into a dry bottle. And of course the more pigment you add, the deeper the colour it's going to be. So I'm just going to start off with a small amount to start off with. I'll get some kitchen roll just so we don't get any cross-contamination next time I add water or add pigment. And then I've got a jug of water that I've already prepared. I can't find my funnel, so I'm just going to very carefully just add some of that water to it, screw the lid on, hold it and give it a shake. And you can see already I've got a beautiful bottle of red spritzer. But if I wanted it darker, I can just very carefully take the lid off, get my pigment powders again, just very, very carefully take the lid off, another spatula full, and I can just drop that into the bottle. Close it, close the lid, hold the lid down and give it a shake. There we go. So like I said, the deeper the colour you get, obviously the more pigment that you put in to those. So that's the red, and obviously I can fill that up with water now pretty much towards the top, which will just dilute it a little bit but not a huge amount. There we go. Leave a little bit of air in the bottle, and I've just got some on my hand. I'll just give that a wipe away. Clean the lid. And then now I've got that done, I can get my label maker and I can type into that BRILL Brill Red. That should do. And then just peel the back off. There we go. So I now have a pot of brilliant red spritzer, and I can do the same with the other colours. So I'll just pop the red back. In fact, let's just keep that out. So let's do a yellow now. Let's see, we've got a nice yellow colour. That's olive green, yellow ochre. There we go. So I'll just pull. Ooh. Oh, that's typical. Right, I'll just have to dig that off. Be careful that I don't. That should do it. A pair of tweezers would have probably been easy just to. Look at that, I've just snipped it off. That's not good. There we go. Tap it down, carefully take the lid off, get my next bottle, make sure I've got nothing on the spatula, and I'll take a fair amount, because obviously the more you put in, like I said, the more pigment rich your spritzers are going to be. lid back on, make sure I don't sneeze, and then just very carefully add the water to the point where I want it, put the lid on, and give it a shake. That's gone quite dark. It's clumped a little bit on the bottom as well, but that should break apart as we're using it. So that was called yellow ochre. So let's just clear that off and then do yellow O-C-H-R-E. Yellow ochre. I've missed the W. I can do that again later, that's not a problem. Okay, so there we go, it's gone off the bottom, so just with a little bit of a shake. So I'll put that one to one side now. So I've got yellow ochre and brilliant red. Just alter the size of the writing, because it's gone to large, which I didn't want. Medium, that will do. Okay, so that's two colours done. So we've now got red and we've got yellow ochre. So let's do a blue. So we've got ultramarine. So very, very carefully take that off. Carefully remove the lid. This isn't a job that will take long at all. I mean, I've got, what, 3, 5, 6, 10, 14, I've got 18 colours. Some of which are, you know, very similar to each other. So let's put, there we go, that should do. So maybe 2 or 3 spatula tips full. And you know, this is one of those things that I know probably many people have already done out there, but some of you probably might not have thought about it. But if you've got a product like these in your collection and they're just sitting there and you're not really getting that much use out of them, then this is a great way to get another product. I mean, look at that. For nothing. For nothing. So ULT. It's like 2 for 1. And who doesn't like 2 for 1? No one. That's who. I mean, again, if you've got some mica powder, you could always add mica powder to it so that you've got a shimmering spritzer as well. So, you know, the world is your oyster. World's your winkle, as we say here in Yorkshire. So what else do I want to do now? I want to try and do, that's leaf green, olive green, lime green. Let's do lime green next. So carefully peel that off. Just tap it down very, very gently. Take the lid off. We don't want the pigment powder going everywhere. It says leaf green. Does it say, no, lime green? But as you can see, it's very much yellow. That might be a little bit too tall. Let's just start a little bit smaller. So in, in. That'll do. Wipe off the spatula, lid back on, make sure it's secure, add the water, and look at that, as if by magic it's turned into a lovely green colour. Give it a shake. I think just keep shaking it until all the bits have gone, which doesn't take long at all. There we go. And that was lime green. Look at that. Fabulous. So try again. So get rid of that, and then lime green. So this is one of those jobs you could probably do when you've got maybe a little bit of spare time, and if, like the rest of the world, you're in lockdown at the moment and you're looking for something different to do with your products, why not spend a bit of time creating your own spritzer sprays from resources you've already got? So I've done 4 so far. So as you can see, ultramarine, brilliant red, yellow ochre, and lime green. So I'm going to now decide which other colours I'm going to do and fill those bottles up. So I will carry on, because I've already done the sea green. I'm going to decant this back from my Tim Holtz water bottle into one of these, and then I'll label that up as well. So, and the other beauty, of course, is if you've already done one colour, like this sea green, for example, and you find that you don't necessarily like the colour, you think it's either too dark or too light, you can adjust the mix the next time you make it. And because you're not using a huge amount of the product, you can just top it up a little bit. Doesn't take long at all. Right, I'll crack on, do some more, and I'll join with you again in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm back. So I've just done the purple. Not a colour that I'm hugely fond of, as most people who follow me regularly will know, but it's still a colour which is decent enough to have in the collection. Now, I've still got 2, 4, 6, 8, I've still got 9 colours left. That's if I remember to put everything over here. Yeah, I think so. So there should be 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, there's 9 colours there. So what I'm going to do is, there's still quite a few. There's still yellows and scarlets and an olive green and a leaf green, a sandstone colour and a terracotta, dark brown and an emerald green and black. I've got black. Don't want to do a black spritzer. I don't really see the point in doing one of those. It's alright to get dimensions and stuff when you're sprinkling it, but I'm more interested, I think, in the sandstone or the terracotta colour. I think I'm going to go with the sandstone because it's the only kind of like browny one that I haven't really got yet, and I'll show you the full lineup in a second. So let's just try and remove that because we had a difficulty with one of them. Oh dear me. Sometimes they are a little bit hard just to get going, so you've just got to encourage, there we go, just encourage them a little bit, give it a bit of a snip. So that's the last one. So this is sandstone, so I'm presuming this is going to be kind of a lightish yellowy browny kind of colour, but we will see what this is. The turquoise one, when I did it, was a lot grainier. It was more of a grain than a powder. And it's obviously made up of a couple of different colours. So interesting to see that it looked like blue and black, but I couldn't tell you how they've made those pigments up. So this sandstone one, so that's gone more of a kind of caramelly colour, which is nice. So let's give that a decent shake. So this is the 10th one. Yeah, it's gone more of a kind of chocolate colour, chocolate caramelly kind of colour. So, hello.
I heard you mention the word chocolate through the door.
I knew that'd make you cool.
Oh, these are cool.
Yes.
These are those spritzers you've made.
So these were the bottles that arrived in the post this morning.
Brushos.
Yeah. So this one's called Sandstone that I've just done.
Yes.
And those are the rest of them. So I'm just making the labels as I'm going along.
Hey, they're a bit smart, those.
They are a tad, aren't they? So this is.
And I would imagine they're cheap to make. So you don't need a lot of Brushos in the liquid, do you?
No. And considering one of these tubs costs what, £3 to £4?
Yeah.
You can probably get
about 200 litres.
Quite a few bottles out of them before you have to think about replenishing.
Yeah, cool.
And that's the other beauty, of course.
Yes.
It's value for money.
VFM.
Yes, not only are you still got your pigment powders to play with in your projects to sprinkle on and add water afterwards, but you've also got now a set of colour coordinating pigment inky spritzers, if you like, that work along with them. So there we go. So that's, turn that off now, and then we'll just quickly run through the 10 colours that I've got. So sandstone, lemon, I did the orange,
Turquoise is a nice colour.
Yeah, I know. I don't know whether the camera's picking up that colour.
Oh yes,
in there. It is kind of greeny blue. The ultramarine.
That's quite purpley, isn't it?
Well, it's a real deep ultramarine colour, isn't it? So you wanted purple. There you go.
Yeah. What colour's a hiccup? Purple,
of course. Brilliant red. Yeah, brilliant red. We've got the yellow ochre, which goes with the oranges, and that one yellow. The lime green, and now sea green. So we've kind of got two blues, sort of two purples. We've got some warms, yellows and greens, and that nice kind of neutrally sandstony colour, and still another 8 colours to go. So, and there are lots more colours that you can get in those pigment powders, but how's that for expanding your resources and not spending another penny apart from on the bottles? And considering they were less than £1 each, less than $1 each if you're in the States, can't go wrong. Definitely can't go wrong. Okay, so now that we've created them, what do they look like? So let's have a little bit of an experiment. Let's throw some stencils down. So these are a couple of my new stencils. So fretwork 1 and fretwork 2. I'll bring the arrows in a minute, and we'll just have a quick sort of spritzy play and just see what they kind of look like. So we'll start off with the lemon. So let's just add a little bit of the lemon into it, and then we'll gradually work a little bit darker. So this is the orange. So as you can see, they're looking pretty good. Bit of darker ochre in there, just as a little bit of a contrast. And then let's bring in a bit of that sandstone. Now if you're wondering, I'm just spritzing back into the jug just to get it actually working. And then let's try some of that sea green. And then let's try a little bit of the turquoise. Okay, and I'm going to give that a quick blast with my heat gun. I'm not going to remove the stencils just yet. Okay, so I've been over quickly. They're not 100% dry just yet. I'm just going to lift those stencils off and just see how they actually look. So they've worked pretty much as you would expect a spritzer to work. So no nasty surprises. Obviously I've gone a bit mad with the colour. Mixing colours that I wouldn't normally mix together, but just as a kind of illustration as to how they work once you've got them in the bottles, they pretty much work as expected. No, like I said, no nasty surprises. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create those spritzers today. And remember, you may have seen this done before, you may have even done it yourself before, but there are people out there that are still just getting into mixed media and are still experimenting and still, you know, might not realise that they've actually got something in their stash that they could use that they didn't know about. So, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed watching that. If you have, please remember to give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. And that's me clearing up. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. Yummy colours. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.